Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for our October 2022 release hop. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's brand new Cane Stencil along with their Merry Christmas Gnomies stamp set and the outline dies, the Sweet Christmas Wishes and the outline dies, our Gnome dies Christmas Add Ons 2, our Gnome dies Christmas Add-ons 1, along with our fancy heart die, our bow dies, our border dies, our gnome dies, the circle internal scallop dies, our stitch circle dies, our panel dies, our mini tag dies 2, and our Peppermint season stamp set. Okay, so I cut a tag from the mini tag dies 2 out of pure poppy cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm pulling a sentiment from that Peppermint season stamp set. It's going to say, keep calm and eat a candy cane. And I'm going to stamp that in Ink on 3's Juicy ink using a stamp positioner. You notice I used my anti-static powder bag there before I did. And then you just want to stamp this a couple of times without pressing too hard. I find otherwise you squish the letters and it doesn't look as nice. So that's what I did here. And then I'm pulling out a coffee filter and Brutus Monroe Alabaster embossing powder. And I'm just going to heat emboss this with my Marvy Heat tool in a second. Using my reverse tweezers. I'm actually going to grab a wood clipboard and just clip it on, and I'll, melt the embossing powder using that. So just my Marvy Heat tool, nothing crazy. Easy stuff. Now, you're going to want to stay tuned till the end of the video because I have a little surprise to share with you today. So stay tuned right to the end. Okay, so I'm just melting that embossing powder. And then I'm taking that, Ranger embossing paste candy cane stencil that I made during the release and review. And I cut that 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card base. That is an A2 sized card base, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, made it a Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. And the candy cane background was done on pure poppy cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. Then I took a piece of white Paper Tray Ink paper, cut at 1.5 inches. And I'm going to run that across the lower third of my card. There we go, and I'm sticking it down with my ATG tape, and I will cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors. I'm using the stenciled backgrounds today for both of my cards. And then I cut out our stitched panel dies with some pure poppy cardstock, and I do cut the end off because I want to elongate it so the stitching is showing on either side of what I'm doing, so that's what I did. You could have cut 2 of them, but I decided to save time and do this. So I'm going to apply that to my little card front, to the lower portion of that strip. And I want to, have an even border along the left-hand side and the bottom. And then on the other side, I'll be on the right-hand side and the bottom. Just trying to keep things, nice and simple. There we are. And then I'm pulling out, this is a border die from our border dies, and I cut that out of pure poppy cardstock, and I'm going to stick that down to the front of my card with some art glitter glue. I'm just going to run a bead across that. So easy stuff. And there you have it. And then I will, weight it down. Now I did go ahead and I cut out a Scalloped Circle die. That is, I'm going to measure it for you while I'm talking to you. That is 3 inches wide. And then the Internal Scallop is 2.5 inches wide. And I cut that out of pure Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. And then the inner one is out of pure poppy again. So I'm also taking a strip of paper from the Let It Snow paper pad. It's the stripe, and it's 3/4 of an inch wide. And I'm going to run that across that little stitched panel area. I'm just trying to make a nice little nest for my design. So easy stuff. I'm going to, stick that on the inside there. So that's from that Let It Snow Doodlebug pad. I'm going to cut off the overhang there. And isn't that nice? I love embossing paste. I just think it's so fun. It gives like a nice texture to your card. So now I'm going to pop up this, Scalloped Circle with some 3M foam tape. I've got a lot of layers there, so I'm trying to figure it out so it doesn't dip or do anything crazy. You know, when in the mailing process, right? Kind of want to keep things nice and flat. There you have it. And I'm going to stick that down, you know, towards the right-hand side of the card. There you have it. So kind of fun, right? I'm just going to add an extra piece of 3M foam tape because it was dipping a little bit, and we don't want that. There you go. Now I did put together this little candy cane already. That was from the Gnome Dies Christmas Add Ons 1. That was with the Papertrink white cardstock, Pure Poppy cardstock, Doodlebug grass green cardstock. There you go. And I will pop that up with 3M foam tape. If you peel off the back, you can turn corners, which is kind of easy. You could also have used foam strips for this, but I had my foam tape out, so I thought, why not, right? So I'm going to pop that down. Now, on the inside, I'm going to add a 3/4 of an inch strip of paper from that Let It Snow pad again. Perfect because, you know, it has the candy cane stripes, right? Red and white. Gotta love Doodlebug. There you go. And I'll trim off the overhang with a pair of scissors. There you go. So kind of fun, right? I'm going to pull out our bow dies, and I did cut out a bow out of that same striped paper from Doodlebug Let It Snow, and then I cut it out again with Pure Poppy cardstock just to layer it up. I just wanted it to be a little bit thicker because I will be popping this up on the top of my tag. So I'm going to stick down this little tag onto white cardstock from Papertrink, and then I'm just going to freehand cut around the edge just to give myself a nice little border for when I pop this up on the front of my card. So there you have it. So keep calm and eat a candy cane. It's always kind of fun, right? From that Peppermint Season stamp set. I'm going to pop that up with dimensionals again. And as I said, stay tuned till the end of the video. I have a little surprise coming, which is always fun. You want to be a subscriber to my channel, my YouTube channel, and Jaded Blossom's YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm going to pop this up in the upper left-hand corner of that circle. And then I'm going to glue that little bow down flat onto the front of this little tag. And there you have it. Just didn't get enough glue on there. I'll stick that down. There you go. So it's pretty easy. I will add on these little holly leaves and the berries onto the front of this super sweet little candy cane. So it's supposed to go with our gnome dies, but you can easily cut them out separately and use them as an embellishment on your card front, right? So it's always fun. And I wanted to use these candy cane backgrounds that I made during the release and review. So I thought, why not, right? I'll use that for my hop projects. There, so that's the idea for that roughly. Now I'm not completely done yet. I'm going to pull out a sentiment from the brand new Sweet Christmas Wishes stamp set, and I use the outline dies, and it says Sweet Christmas Wishes on the inside. So isn't that cute? There we go. So there is my gnome. I did put that together on that gnome assembly video. That was the Gnome Dies Christmas Add Ons 2. Now I'm going to stick down my background that I made with Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock and Distress Oxide ink in Festive Berries. And I did that on the release and review. Now on the inside, I'm just going to put a cheapo piece of white cardstock cut at 4 by 5 1/4 inches. On the outside, I did say I cut down that candy cane background to 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card. Can't remember if I said that, but I meant to say it, so I'll say it now. There you go. And I do add a strip of that same pattern paper from that Doodlebug Let It Snow pad, and that is 1 inch wide. And I'm just going to stick that down on the inside and trim off the overhang. So easy stuff, right? There you have it. Now I do take out Doodlebug's gingham linen, and I cut a strip of it, and it's roughly 2.5 inches wide. So there we go. And I'm just using my Fiskars trimmer to cut a 2.5 inch strip, and that's going to run down the center of my card. And then I'm planning on trimming that out with some scalloped border dies that I cut from our border dies. So I'm just trying to make sure everything's straight. And then I'll go ahead and I'm going to layer on that strip of gingham linen. I'm using the gingham side, right? There we go. And then I will cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors, which is always easy, right? There. Now I will add on these 2 scallop borders that I cut out of Pure Poppy cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. All my die cutting today was done with my Gemini as per usual. There we go. Now isn't this an adorable release? It's just so darn cute. I love it. I'm adding on both of these borders with art glitter glue. And then I do cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors, but I do want to make sure that they're stuck down well, so I do weight it down first. There we are. So I'm going to cut off the overhang there with those scissors. Just trying to make things easy. And then that gnome is going to be my main image on this card. And I'm going to pop that up with 3M foam tape. Now that gnome was made with Doodlebugs. It was made with American Crafts cardstock, P13 stamping pad skin tones, Doodlebugs cardstock and Grasshopper, Swimming Pool and Sunshine, and Pure Poppy cardstock, along with American Crafts cardstock for the little beard. So there it is. Everything will be listed on my blog. Isn't he cute? He's going to be holding a candy cane too, but that's with the with red for the background and white for the top layer. The other one was the other way around, right? They kind of look a little different, right? There you go. On the inside, I'm going to add a sentiment, and that says, "May your holidays be sprinkled with happiness." And that is also from our Sweet Christmas Wishes stamp set and outline dies. Now I'm pulling out our fancy heart dies. I cut it out with Pure Poppy cardstock, and I'm taking the little hearts that come out of it and I'm using them as decorations. So 1 in the center of the bow, 3 on that white background, using my Studio Katia embellishment wand. Right? Isn't that fun? On the inside, I'm going to add an extra heart also here. Because, you know, why not? I've got extra hearts, so you might as well. I love those fancy heart dies. They're beautiful. Plus, I like that you could use the cutouts for embellishments. Now for this one, I'm going to add 3 of the same hearts, and I'll pop them up with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And using my Studio Katia embellishment wand and my fingers and, you know, everything else. I'm just making sure that the edges are okay, and my reverse tweezers to put them onto the card front. So it's kind of fun. There you have it. And I'm just making sure that there's no little, you know, linty edges left, right? I'm just going to pop that last one on. Right above that sentiment that says, "Happy Holidays from my gnome to yours." Right? Isn't that cute? And I will add 1 heart on the inside as well. So remember, this is a hop, so you want to go and do that hop. Okay, and surprise, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. This is from me and Jaded Blossom. And what you need to do is you need to comment on my blog, or not my blog, comment on my YouTube site, be a follower, comment on Jaded Blossom's YouTube site, and be a follower. And one of you lucky people will receive this Winter Signs stamp set. It is awesome, and I think you're going to want it. So you're going to want to make sure that you leave those comments and follow those 2 YouTube sites. So thank you as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. This is a hop, so make sure you do the blog hop because you have a chance to win a stamp set of your choice doing that as well. And thank you as always for watching. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we will see you soon in my next video. Bye everyone.